stabilize the camera there. Getting ready to go on an interview with 4029 News regarding the healthcare legislation being proposed by Bruce Westerman. Jumping on now, but I wanted to make sure I had a recording of this for myself. We'll see how this goes.
Hello there, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, thank you for doing this on short notice.
You're welcome. I know stuff comes up quick, so.
It does, and we try to give both sides a chance to weigh in when it's election season, so certainly appreciate you making that happen.
Sure.
Alright. I'm sure you've done enough of these to know it's not live. If you need to stop and say something over, it's fine. I'm going to be editing between now and 9.
No, I'm going to give you a heads up because you may. I'm glad you're taping because a censor might be good for some of the comments on it. Just in due deference and fairness to you ahead of time. So.
Okay, good to know, good to know. Alright, well, I'm going to start recording, and we'll go from there.
Recording in progress.
Mr. Russell, if you will, for the record, say and spell your first and your last name so it looks right on the TV screen.
Sure. It's James Russell. That's JamesRussell.
And you are a Democratic candidate for Arkansas 4th Congressional District.
Yes, I am the Democratic nominee.
I don't know if you've had a chance to really go through the Fair Care Act proposal or legislation. I'm assuming you have, since it's something that your opponent has proposed.
Mhm.
And I just want to give you a chance to react to what was recently put out and what you make of it.
Well, to be perfectly honest, one, I've been keeping track on it, and that's actually a tab I keep open on my phone that I've been refreshing every day because the text of the act is still not available to be read. It's been submitted to subcommittees, but there's no actual documentation that I can find on it. What I can find is where he proposed the similar legislation in 2022 and then again in 2024. Only difference between those two being 5 pages of edits in there. And both times it went to subcommittee and never came out of it. There were no co-sponsors. It went nowhere. It was dead legislation. Like I said, pardon my language for it, but to be perfectly honest, after being in healthcare for as long as I have and knowing the financial situation that most Arkansans are in, any kind of a healthcare plan that leads off with a healthcare savings plan first, pardon me, it's fucking insulting. You've got people who are trying to live paycheck to paycheck, and your answer to them is to implement a health savings account. Now, sure, there are ideas tacked on where, of course, you're going to have to cover for pre-existing conditions. Yes, we've had that since the Affordable Care Act was in place and before. That's had to be there. That's been a positive thing. Yes, we need stronger representation in arguing for prescription drug coverage and costs and keeping those down. Absolutely. But to say that somehow an individual is going to be able to negotiate better prices on these things and have a health savings account adjust for these, that's just frankly disingenuous and completely tone deaf to that reality of most people's lives here in Arkansas.
What do you see, and before I ask that question, take me through your background in healthcare, if you don't mind.
Sure, no. I've been in and adjacent to the healthcare industry for the past 25 years. Started out being a physician credentialing specialist with Arkansas Children's Hospital. From there, moved over. I was a medical staff coordinator with Arkansas Children's Hospital. I was exposed in there to different committees because I was on the executive level committees with that. Got exposed to bioethics and found that was a field that really piqued my interest and was a place where help was needed. Because what we find is that the scientific community and the legal community frequently don't speak the same language, and we need people who could bridge that gap. So I went back in, designed a program with my advisors at UCA for a joint pre-med, pre-law program. went into the heavy science field on that one, and on the legal side, rather than going poli-sci, I went the philosophy route and got into legal, political, ethical theory on that. So going from there, my wife beat me to the punch. She completed her master's degree while I was still in my undergrad studies, and she got a degree in psychology, and we opened up a mental health practice. And so for the past 12 years, that's what we've done, is actually own and operate an outpatient mental health care clinic here in Little Rock, serving statewide via telehealth. So I've seen firsthand the impact that these policies have had and the impact that the insurance premiums have had on people. I freely admit that the passage of the Affordable Care Act was one of the first times in my entire life that I was able to have health care coverage. That was a major shift for me. Yeah, and we see this all the time. We see people we have people who want to politicize healthcare and insurance and want to talk about it like some abstraction. But it affects their daily life. This is something that every human being needs, regardless of background, race, creed, sexual identity, anything. You need healthcare. And we have tied that to health insurance. And if those premiums are just going up, while at the same time we are seeing healthcare outcomes become worse and worse, all while the insurance companies are reaping in record profits, well, there's a problem in the system, and that needs to be addressed fundamentally. And that's not a problem on the provider side. That's not a problem on the consumer side. That is a problem on the corporate side. That is corporate greed running amok, and looking at people as resources to be exploited rather than human beings who need health care.
If elected, would you have a plan that you would propose for legislation to address the healthcare crisis, if you will?
I don't have specific of my own. I am a firm supporter of a universal healthcare system. Now, a lot of people take that different ways, whether that means single payer, whether that means expanded Medicare, Medicaid. That could take many different forms. You can still have universal healthcare coverage and have a private option, but it means that no one is going to go uninsured. It means that no one has to go untreated. It means that no one has to walk around concerned because something that you have no control over, say cancer, which is rooted in a mutation in DNA. That is something that you cannot control for. Well, you could be walking around and have that, and through no fault of your own, you could be facing financial ruin because of the cost of it. And I've had people that say, well, we just need to have doctors list their prices. Okay, well, but at that point, every oncologist would effectively be your money or your life, because you can't just forego treatment and survive. So we have to have something in place that actually catches these cases. We have to have preventative. We have to have screening. We have to have affordable prescription drugs, and we have to have things that work for the working class people, the majority of Americans and Arkansans. And everyone says it can't be done. It can't be done. It's too difficult. And my answer is that it's so difficult that only every other developed nation on the planet has sorted it out. And again, many different methods, many different means of working that out. But to say that we cannot do it, that's just an indication that you don't have the political willpower to push for it. We can do it. It's one of the things we pride ourselves on. We're Arkansans. We're Americans. We do anything we set our mind to. If we decide this is a priority, we can do it. We just have to make that decision.
Time is precious and deadline is approaching, so I'll close by letting you say anything I didn't ask you that you feel is important to mention.
I think we hit it, because it is such a broad topic. The bottom line is, our view of healthcare as a for-profit model ignores the underlying fact of healthcare needing to be an essential human right. It is something that no person can live without. We want to purport to be a pro-life state. well, then we need to actually be pro-supporting life and pro-supporting initiatives that improve quality of life for Arkansans across the board, not just the ones who can afford it. Everyone.
Mr. Russell, nice to meet you. Thank you for dropping everything for us and taking time to answer our questions. We really appreciate it. And I'm sure over the course of the next few months, we'll be seeing you along the way.
That'd be great. I'm happy to. You've got the number. Reach out anytime.
I'll save it. Be careful what you wish for.
Okay.
Take care. See you on TV.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Record.
Okay. So you were here for the actual recording. If they don't broadcast that, we'll know. Thanks for watching.